Okay, great morning, everyone. It is Friday, the 21st. Anyway, sorry I wasn't online again yesterday, but it was a day. My Air Force veteran thing that I'm going to put on. Anyway, as you know, we were out at the Lee Memorial Park, and I was on a slant. It's up a mountain. And it was all I could do to keep from not rolling out of bed yesterday. Are you done eating? Are you done? Okay, all right, Mr. Max. As you can see, Mr. Max is looking perkier today. Yes, he says I'm perkier. And he was out there this morning styling in his little, look at there. Say, my vest matches my collar now. Oh my goodness, I'm a handsome dude. So it took him out this morning and he was perky and just trotting along and just happy as a clam. So I was a happy boy out there this morning. But it was a little miserable for me. That's why I wasn't online yesterday. I had 4 big incidents of these acting up, and I had to go back on the pain pill because it hit. And oh my God, I was screaming in here. I mean, I was yelling. It was so painful. It was more painful than when I had the rash, okay? I was like, oh my God. Anyway, so that's why I wasn't online again yesterday, because it was just really over the top painful. But anyway, what happened was, I was in bed, and usually they have a number of first come, first serve spots when they have electric. Well, they didn't up here. So I decided to leave. I said, I can't, be on a slant here, even though it's free. You stay there free if it's dry camping. But rolling out of bed at night is not fun. You're going to roll over here trying to grab something. So anyway, I decided to, I was going to go, like I said, I was going to go to Elephant Park is what I was thinking. But I heard from somebody that I know in Fort Lauderdale, and they decided they want to fly out on Sunday and have a look at Las Cruces. So Sunday I've got to be back in there to show them around Las Cruces. They're only going to be here like one day or a couple days. If they like it, they may stay for a couple days, and that's it. So I said, well, since I've got to go back there on Sunday, I've already paid up here for until tomorrow, so I'll just pay one more day. I'll pay tomorrow because I'm still within my 2 weeks time limit that you have. So I'll just stay another day tomorrow, pay my $4 and stay tomorrow as well. So yeah, I came back out to Pancho Villa State Park. Now, I really do like it out here a lot. But what happened yesterday, I got here and then I went to take Max out, and it's cold today. It's in the 30s. I would say maybe it's about 36 out there. And when I got here yesterday, I put on my coat and went to take Max out, and that cold air hit the shingles. Oh my God. I was just like, it was so much pain. I was like, oh, now hurry up, Max, I gotta get back in, I can't. I was just to the point of screaming. The pain was so intense. So anyway, I got him back in here, and I had to start on the pain pills again because it's just, right now it's like if I move, they're healing, and it's, you move your head and it's tightening that because of the healing, and it's just over the top pain. So this morning, the cold is just as bad on it as the heat. So what I did was I got one of my flute cases, the ones that are just made out of that, what do you call it? Not felt. What do you call that? It's a soft material. Anyway, so I took one of those and wrapped it around my neck all the way up so that ice cold air wouldn't get to it. So I was able to take Max out and let him have his fun this morning without feeling I was going to die in any second. So he did have a good time out there. And then yesterday, as I was coming back to here, I went past Holloman Air Force Base. Now, that's the base out by where they did the first A-bomb, Alamogordo. And since I've got the disabled veteran, I can go on any base at any time and use the PX or the commissary or movies, whatever they have there. I'm entitled to go use. Okay. So I went up there and just show my ID and my thing, and I go right in. So I did get a t-shirt, and then I got a pair of sweatpants that says USAF Air Force. Because I am a veteran, Air Force veteran. So I did get those, and I got one more shirt. I got 2 shirts and a pair of comfy, I can't think this morning. I'm sorry, sweatpants. Oh, don't laugh, it hurts. Anyway, oh my God. It doesn't look bad in the video, you can't see, but if you saw it in person, these were really deep. It's like I've got holes in my neck that are healing now, and it's just really painful. So anyway, I talked with the guys up in the office yesterday about staying out here, and you can stay 12 days. No, 2 weeks. You could stay 2 weeks, and then you have to leave for 6 days, and then you can come back. So if I just stay here and go to Elephant Butte Lake Park, I could just, stay 2 weeks here, 1 week at Elephant Butte, and come back here, or 2 weeks at Elephant Butte. So that works out well. And it's like for a month, it's $120. Who can beat that? And it's so much nicer than staying at the trailer park in Las Cruces, because it's, I can pay for gas to go in there whenever I want to Las Cruces. And so I think that's a better deal. It's much more peaceful and stuff than it is staying in town on a little gravel thing, and you got this ratty ass trailer next to you. So I'm happy to be out here. Anyway, that being said, let's look and see what we get today. So today I just pulled three decks. We've got Queen of the Moon Oracle, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Messenger Oracle. So let's see what we have. What is the universe going to give as a topic this morning? Oh, mercy. The universe is still in the same thing. Surrender to the flow. I like they have a little ladybug on there. Much better luck, much better things if you surrender to the flow. It's a nice card. I haven't used that deck for quite a while. Oh, the other thing that happened to me, which you can't see on here, I don't know if you could see. When I was out at that park up there, I got up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and I opened the door, and it's because I was on a slant, the door flew back, and the corner of the thing hit me right in the eye. So I've got a bruise in my eye and a broken blood vessel there. I thought I was going to have a big black eye on top of it, because it hit me right, the corner of that hit right in the eye. So that's a little painful too. If you can see it up close, it looks bad. Got a broken blood vessel in there. And a bruise. And a bruise as well. So, yeah. That was not fun. Milk and honey. So we'll have to get the thing out and read what it says about that. Milk and honey. Milk and honey and rainbows. Is that a little, oh, it's a little bitty, it's a little hard to see, but it's a little bitty elephant in there taking a bath in the milk and honey. And let's see what the last but not least, what we have. Opportunity. Okay. Opportunity. Surrender to the flow. And let's see what it says on milk and honey. Number 51. Milk and honey, the taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, trusting that your needs will be met. Okay? You've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious, when all your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. Again, opportunities. Things will come up in their time. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment, not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is an energy you are living a part of. All your needs are being met. You're given the gift of nourishment in every form. Okay, now the protection message, if you are misusing this, a nameless unease compels you to turn to pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. Okay? It works in the moment, but only fleetingly before the feelings return, and you need to re-up until you're exhausted. Feeling worse than before, you may continue struggling, or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. Now is the time for practicing extreme self-care. If you can do so before you engage in behaviors you'll regret later. You are so loved, so cared for. Feel love and compassion for yourself. Turn your troubles over to the divine for healing. That's all that counts right now. So again, if you are fighting against surrendering to the flow or surrendering to God, surrendering, okay, and you think you want to micromanage everything and force it to your will, okay, and you use pleasurable things to escape. You know, if you're into drugs, you're into, I don't care what it is, marijuana, whatever, or alcohol as an escapism, okay? Because you're fighting against things, better to go with the flow and find that still place within you and surrender. You know, the path is about surrendering to God, you know. Now, I just had somebody that I met one day, did Shaktipat on him in India. And so now they've come to Christ and they're demonizing Kundalini, demonizing everything. And that's one thing I really hate to see. They were into, I guess, very Hinduism, and I don't know who their teacher was, but they are doing a lot of pujas and all these other things and weren't finding self-fulfillment. They were teaching yoga, you know, and whoever they had was not a good guru, not a good teacher, because the path is about surrendering, not forcing this to happen. He was trying to force this to happen and force that to happen, I guess. But no, I started out in an esoteric Christian order, and it was only through Kundalini and the path, you know. And the path, if you're walking it right, it's basically walking the path of Christ. You face all those things. So, you know, to demonize it is, that's very sad for me to see somebody demonizing it. And I'm glad that he's found Christ. You know, that's wonderful. Some of us have had Christ in our lives and we never left it, okay? It's one of the foundations of the teachings that I give. So to see somebody demonizing stuff does not make me happy. But I'm very happy for him that he's more settled in his life. Whatever, okay. That part's good. I wish him well. You know, I wish him peace, and but I wish he was not demonizing things. So I'm going to leave that here for now, too. Then I was asked, why does, the other question I had today on my other channel was, why does the dark hate the light? Well, in a nutshell, I might go over there and give a longer explanation, but in a nutshell, the light is about surrender, flow. It's about harmony. It's about love. It's about, you know, caring for others. And the dark is about me only, doing whatever I need to get ahead. It's about self-power. It's not about surrender to a higher power. It's about self-power. Me. Ego. 100%. And so, yeah, the dark hates the light because the light is, you know, opposite to it. In order to come to know God, you have to surrender and you have to give up your life willingly, okay? You get to that point and you have to surrender it of your own free will. We have free will. And the dark is not going to surrender anything, okay? I want my personal power. Remember how Satan fell. Remember that Satan was the head of the heavenly choir. Was not created this evil thing. Was not created. It's not on par with God. The opposite. And that's what Satanists want to say, that Satan is equal to God and has all this power. But it's failed power. It's failed. Okay? Satan Lucifer wants to again masquerade as an angel of light. This is how people get taken into these false, I don't care whether it's Christian, I don't care whether it's Hindu, I don't give a rat's ass what it is, these cults, okay, that want to, like the evil angels now, evangelicals, and not to say every single evangelicals, but overall, what they're preaching now is 180 degrees away from what Christ was talking about, okay? And it says that the ravening wolves will be masquerading in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves, and we see this more and more. How many of these ministers are found out to be pedophiles, or running some sex ring or something heinous? And then the evangelicals, all the stuff that's coming out that these crazy preachers are saying, it's just and they've exchanged, faith in God and the universe for personal power, okay? And that's what Satan did. Remember, he was the head of the heavenly choirs, and then he decided, I should get the glory. Why am I giving the glory to God for what I've got? This is all about me. I'm the one that's doing this. And he fell, and he took, what was it, a quarter of the angels, a third of the angels, or a quarter of the angels? I don't remember exactly, but it was a third or a quarter of the angels went with him into the dark thing of saying, we want powers. Okay? Why am I surrendering to, I'm not surrendering to anything. I want the glory. Okay? So this is what happens when people get into this egotistical bent, narcissism, egotistical bent, okay? And they can justify whatever actions, and no matter how dark they are, they justify it, okay? Well, again, that's why the dark hates the light. Because, in the light, if you are surrendered to God, and you know that God is, that you are a projection, okay? You're a projection, but everything that you have comes from God, okay? Is that God energy? Without God, you would have no life, okay? So everything you are, everything you have, goes back to that, to God, okay? And you're willing to go with the flow, okay? To be in harmony with, and you want to see the best for others, It's not about personal power. So the dark hates the light because it shines on their misdeeds, okay? And while they are trying to get, power and money hungry and whatever it is, they're in lack all the time. And if you are truly surrendered to God, and you know that God is the center, if you've ever experienced that divine love, that divine order, you know that the shadow things have no power. They think they're all powerful. They think they're having it for a time, but they're never happy. They're never satisfied, never peaceful. And if you truly surrender and you've given up your life, that's why they have the baptism of water, okay? And you have the other baptism, you surrender into death, you surrender into that. You have to be born again. To be born again, first you have to have a death, and then you're born again. Okay, you die to the old. Okay, that's what it represents. And you have to have that Holy Spirit. You remember the Holy Spirit is that fire that you see that happens. Kundalini, okay? It's the same thing. Holy Spirit, Kundalini, it's that awakening. So again, that's why when I see somebody demonizing it, okay, they've misused, they don't understand, they've abused, and they demonize, makes me very sad. But anyway, that's a quick thing why the darkness hates the light, okay? Because they don't comprehend it. The light shone, and it said the darkness did not comprehend it. It doesn't get it, okay? Doesn't understand light at all because it has become self-centered, narcissistic, self-centered. Again, those that worship Satan they say they're worshiping pleasure, my personal pleasure. Whatever makes me happy, I'm going to do, and screw everybody else. I could care less. That's what they're about, okay? There's no empathy, no compassion. None of that exists in their world. Empathy and compassion, forget about it. Those are, they view those as being weak. If you have empathy and compassion for somebody, you're weak, okay? So again, that's why the darkness hates the light. And they just get, that's why you have to pity these people that are like that. Those that, if you have something and they're jealous and they get nasty, okay, because you have something they want, okay, even though you're not, you could care less about it. Their view is that you've got something and they're lacking and they want it, and they're going to make your life miserable, try to make you miserable as they are miserable. Good luck with that. Anyway, this is why they will resort to trying to do dark magic or whatever, again, trying to manipulate, and because it comes out of their failing, their lack, their misery, that they can't stand to see somebody else happy when they're miserable. And their misery comes out of their own unwillingness to surrender to God, unwillingness to go with the flow, unwillingness, okay? They want to blame all their misery on God or somebody else. Yeah. So it's a no-win proposition, but they haven't gotten that yet. They haven't understood that. Now, I'm not saying that Kundalini is a fun thing. It's not a fun thing as you go through the dark night of the soul. I hope nobody else has to experience that, but I experienced the dark night of the soul going through the path. And like I said, when I was young, I prayed, I asked to walk the path of Christ. I really did. And I had no idea what I was getting myself in for. Okay? Because if you ask to walk the path of Christ, you're going to face the temptations, the wilderness, the scourging, the dark night of the soul. You're going to feel like when I was going through it, the dark night of the soul, I felt the pain of humanity. Literally the pain of humanity. And I just couldn't breathe. It was the weight of it was so heavy, so painful, so, and I asked for it to be taken away because it was, you feel like you're being crucified. You just feel like it was so heavy, so painful. And then it took it away, and then there was nothing. It was like being a robot. There was no feel. I guess this is even worse than the pain of the world, to be dead. to feel dead inside. Where's the resurrection? It's like, oh my God, that was not fun. But eventually you come to that point where you have to make a choice. And I had done everything I'd done. You pray, you seek the will, you seek the way. And came to the point where it literally said, on the altar of truth I lay myself. That's it. And sacrifice myself. And again, that's what they had in the Bible. They have the point where, was it Abraham was going to sacrifice his son? Okay. And he took him out to the thing and started to lay him on the altar to sacrifice him. And then, God gave him a lamb to sacrifice instead of his son. Okay. But there is the sacrifice, something that happens, and you sacrifice yourself. Like Christ sacrificed himself on the cross. You go through that point of, on the altar of truth I lay myself, and you have to surrender totally to God. But what happens on the cross? You think it was fun? You think it was, Christ was, the night before, he was sweating blood. You don't sweat blood unless you're in terror. Knowing what's coming, you're in absolute terror. You sweat blood. Okay. But he went through the scourging, put him up, and then he's like, Father, what was it, Lama Sabak? I can't remember. Lama Saba, something about, but it was translated into, Father, why have you forsaken me? And you come to that point just before you sacrifice yourself on the altar of truth, and you feel like you are in no man's land. Okay, you don't know what's going to happen. Am I going to be possessed? Am I going to die forever? Am I going to be, And it's that terrifying. You have that moment of terrifying. You've held to God, held to these things, but in that moment you are utterly alone. Why have you forsaken me? And then what was the next thing? Into your hands I commend my spirit. That's why when I got to that point, on the altar of truth I lay myself, And you have to surrender 100%, utterly and completely. Okay? Then what happened to Christ? Remember, he descended into hell for 3 days and hell could not hold him. Okay? So you do have that moment of that, just intense terror, hell realms that you have to go through. Okay? And then what happened? Then he ascended. Okay? And he was risen. Okay? Same thing. Lay yourself on the altar of truth, and the next second it was boom, it was over, and it was just that presence. And you are not any longer. You were a passing thought, or, everything you held that you thought you knew is gone in an instant. And this overwhelming presence, you're not aware of, there is no me there. Okay? There is no separation. There is only that divine is, that God presence. More real than anything in this temporal world. Overwhelmingly. And that's why you say you're blown out. Nirvana, nibbana, blown out. All the things that you thought you held, fears, all that is gone in an instant. Heartbeat. Nibbana, you're blown out. Okay? And whoever it was that had lived that life up to that point is gone. Okay? It's like it never existed any longer. And you come out of it with fresh seeing, fresh eyes, fresh consciousness, fresh knowing, and the mind has stilled. Okay? That little, I want to call it like the little satanic whispering thing, is no more. It's gone. Okay? There's just stillness. There's just that awareness always of that divine is. And you understand immediately why karma is in place and why it has to be in place, because this divine is perfection, and it's at the center of everything. And no matter what happens, cannot touch that divine is. It only touches the mind and the thought and the body. Okay? But you are not that. You are that particle of that divine is. Okay? Well, this talk has wound up being longer than I thought would be, but that happens anyway. So yeah, it's a totally new consciousness. It's being reborn. You come out and everything has changed and nothing has changed. So it's now living in a land of just these, so odd, because your whole world and existence is changed in a heartbeat, but you come back into the same old world and existence. Nothing else has changed there, but your whole being has changed. So the way that everything is viewed is changed. Okay? Other people are not going to notice a thing. They still see the same body, the same basic personality. But who and what you were has now been utterly changed forever. And one has entered that peace that passes understanding. You know, I had somebody here that's saying, oh, I'm so sorry, and you're grieving for your little dog, and you're grieving, and I wish you well in prayers. No, I don't grieve. Okay? There's only sorrow in that moment. You know, as he's leaving the physical form. There's sorrow, yeah, great pain and sorrow in that moment. But when that moment's passed, it's passed. Okay? And I know absolutely on the other side that he is free and he is happy and he is, back to being the puppy he was when I first got him, So why is grieving? There's nothing to grieve. He's released from the pain he had gone through his whole life, the OCD and the things that happened with the rabies shot that he had to have. It just affected his whole system. So again, no, there's no grieving. Okay? I'm not sitting here crying over Raj every day. Raj is fine on the other side. I know that 100%. So for here, again, there's no grieving. There's no holding to those things. It's momentary. Okay? Again, the way you are is so different after that. I don't have anticipation of something. I don't look forward to it, yearning, I wish, my house would sell, of course. But I'm fine where I'm at. Things are fine in its time, everything in its time. Okay? So you're settled, you're at peace. Even going through this, I know that this is transient. It's only the body. Has nothing to do with me, who I am, what I am. Okay? This is a transient, temporary thing. Do I feel pain? Yes, I feel pain. But again, it's a transient thing. This too will pass. Okay? That's the way that is. This will pass. Okay? So again, the way you view things is vastly different. Now, if it would have been before realization, before that massive shift in consciousness, yes, I would have been sitting here grieving for poor little Raj and feeling sorry and feeling horrid and, but no longer, okay? No longer. Yeah, massive changes happen. So I never tell anybody that they should do that path because it's difficult and it takes lifetimes. It's not a journey that you can do in a year. And if people think that they're going to always have happy, expansive things, you do for a time. In the beginning, you get that first heart opening, okay, and you're just like on bliss, higher than any drug could ever get somebody, okay, and you may be that way for a number of years, but then the hard lessons start to come, okay. You have to face yourself, you have to face your fears, you have to face all those things, and to find out you are not this physical form, okay. You are that divine is presence that is inhabiting this form only for a short time to experience the things of this plane of existence, okay? So there are many realms, many planes of existence, many different types of forms that one goes through. We are not the only people in the universe. Definitely not. We are not so all important, in the scheme of things in this little planetary thing that we've got going now. It's much more vast, okay? So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. Wow, this turned out to be a long one. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. To the new subscribers, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well on their journey. All of us make the journey at some time or another. But may you be well wherever you are. And again, just go forward to have a good life. Please don't take on the political things as the end all and be all and get yourself wrapped up in it. This will pass as well. Okay, this is going to pass as well in time. Okay, doesn't mean that we don't stand up for truth, that we don't do all we can to change this thing, but this has come up to show what's there. And I've been saying this for a number of years. There's going to be a division. Okay. I said this going back maybe 10, 12 years. I started telling my students, things are polarizing. It's polarizing. Those that are going towards light will go ever more, have more opportunities to go towards light. And those that are going to darkness will wind up continually being more and more deluded. Okay? Delusional. Because they are not seeking the things of the light. Okay? So their delusion is going to become greater and greater and greater. Okay? There's also the passage that says, again, that that darkness they parade as light. They've exchanged the truth for the lie. And they want to say the truth is the lie. Okay? And so their delusion is going to get greater and greater and greater. And they will continue to fight against the light. Okay? And be convinced that they are right. Okay? So these are the times that we're living in. But don't forget, we're not here forever. We are here for a short time, and then we are released from this plane of existence. So don't lose yourself and continue to go towards the negative and feeling defeated. Okay? Like Christ said, fear not, don't fear. Eventually it's going to right. Do not fear. If you get yourself driven by fear, and this is what they prey on, the dark preys on, again, their method of operandi is to cause some seed of doubt. This is why they try to smear people. They try to sow a seed of doubt about that person or situation. If they can sow a seed of doubt, then they can continue to build on that. And it doesn't matter what it is, everything comes from light. But what happens is they sow a seed of doubt and it starts moving away from that light, and they can keep going. And people don't realize how far they're being pulled away from the light. Okay? They don't understand they're fighting the light, that they have succumbed to this darkness. And again, that's the way the darkness works. They sow a seed of doubt, and then they get you wrapped up in self-pity, get you wrapped up in fighting against, this meism. I'm not getting what I want this. And they pull people to that dark place of pain and sadness and wallowing in that, and fighting against the light. And they don't understand they're fighting the very things that could bring them peace. Okay? In their misery, they will continue to make themselves more miserable in fighting against the light. Very sad situation to see. Like I said, you have those Trumpites, and they believe in that, and they cannot hear truth. They cannot hear it. Okay? The truth would speak, and the darkness does not comprehend it. Darkness doesn't get it. Okay? If you speak about peace and love, they don't get it. That it could solve the problems. If you could leave people to their own religion, to their own thing, they don't get it. Okay? So again, we are living in these times. Okay? But these times will pass. And there are those of us here, different readers, different ones to speak out, to say, please, 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 people, find this peace within yourself. Yes, we are in a time of this polarization, but always hold to the light. Find that peace within yourself, okay? And then no matter what comes or goes, okay, you won't feel loss, okay? You won't feel loss. So ask for that peace that passes understanding. Ask for that peace, okay? And continue to surrender. Go with the flow, and hold to the light, and hold to the things that this too will pass. Okay? So I'm going to leave this here. Thanks for tuning in, and see you online. Aho. Have a great day. And I'm going to sit here and continue to heal. Okay. Oh my goodness. Anyway, for those that have been asking about Max, he is getting better day by day. I did get him some food. I've got him on the Nutro now. It's chicken, rice, and sweet potato. And that is definitely helping him. Very, very small. It's like the size of little BB pellets. Very small kibble, which he's able to eat quite easily. And yeah, this is working for him. So today he had a whole lot more energy. He was really wanting to run out there. I had difficulty keeping up with him this morning. So yes, he's definitely on the mend. He came in, had some food, and now he's laying here taking his siesta, a little nap. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. Thanks for tuning in. See you online. Aho.